And the Prime Minister spent the day touring communities devastated by recent floods. Late this afternoon, Julia Gillard touched down in the northern New South Wales town of Moree to have a look at recovery efforts there. Earlier, in the Queensland town of St George, locals pleaded with the Prime Minister to help flood-proof their town after 3 major floods in as many years. From St George, here's the ABC's Stephanie Smale.
A flying visit for a flood-weary community. The residents of St George are back in their homes and coming to terms with yet another clean-up. The Prime Minister came to tour the devastation.
Perfectly good, beautiful stuff, all damaged.
Outside the town's temporary levee, properties didn't stand a chance. The nursing home was flooded for the 3rd time in 3 years. Residents evacuated to the Gold Coast won't be allowed back for some time.
For the Army and the Navy here, it's all hands on deck.
The Prime Minister thanked the volunteers and Defence Force personnel involved in the recovery.
Andrew. G'day, Andrew. Hi. How goes it?
She also met local authorities, who say many residents are at breaking point.
I can't ask them to go through it again. No.
They want federal funding for a permanent levy. While residents were grateful for the Prime Minister's visit, it's action they really want to see. They're terrified their town will be flooded like this again next year, and they say the government must act now.
It's something that we've got to consider and study carefully. We've got to understand, patterns of flood waters and what protections can be provided.
Some residents can't risk waiting.
I'm not staying here. I'm out of here. Yeah. I can't stay here. No. You can't believe that it's going to happen again.
The Prime Minister surveyed the damage from the air before visiting Roma, where a young mother lost her life in the floodwaters.
We know that you've gone through a lot and that there's more to come as people turn to the task of recovery.
She then headed over the border to northern New South Wales to inspect flood damage in Moree, talking to local councillors and meeting those hardest hit. Across both states, the government has so far paid $13 million in disaster relief. Stephanie Smale, ABC News, St George.